to do it next year. So after I finish studying.
Okay. And Doron, hi, welcome. Do you mind
Hi.
introducing yourself?
I'm Daron from Switzerland. I'll be drafting in March with Hester. Yeah.
Okay, who here is going to מחווה אלון? מי פה הולך למחווה אלון? שהם מתגייסים? By raise of hand, yeah. You don't know where you're drafting to, Yosef?
I don't know if I need to go to Mikveh alone.
No, but you're drafting in
Insane.
March?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know? Well, they're going to tell you, no? Where you're drafting?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. Okay. Why are we doing a navigation lesson? I can tell you that most of you are probably not going to go do navigation while you're in the army, for a fact. Okay. So why do we here at Tzevet Mikey view navigation as important? למה אנחנו רואים נכון ללמד אתכם איך לנווט? I can tell you, normally when we do this lesson in conjunction with going out to the field. So we'll take you guys out to the field and we'll actually go and navigate with you for 2 days. And then you can really take these skills and practically use them. And we think that's important for a lot of reasons, but most importantly, learning to navigate is important because it builds self-confidence. It builds the confidence that you need to make decisions on the fly, right? In the situation, in the moment, and then immediately understand if the decision you made was the right decision or the wrong decision, right? When I'm standing in the middle of the night and I don't know whether to go right or left, right? If I go the wrong way, you can bet that you'll know within an hour, right? And you can tell which person wasn't confident about their ability to make that decision. And I think probably one of the biggest factors in the success during a navigation is confidence. Okay. So if I'm confident in my ability to do something, then usually I'll do it well. And that's something you really learn during your navigations. אז אנחנו לומדים בעצם לנווט כדי לבנות את הביטחון עצמי, לקבל החלטות ברגע הנכון, ברגע שצריך לקבל את ההחלטה, ואז גם מיד נדע האם טעינו או לא טעינו. וזה החלק הכי חשוב של הניווט, יותר מעבר לזה שאנחנו צריכים להגיע מנקודה לנקודה, שזה בפועל מה שאנחנו עושים, זה היכולת לקבל החלטה באותו רגע נתון, ולהבין מיד אחרי זה האם קיבלתי את ההחלטה הנכונה או לא, וללמוד מזה. Okay, so why are navigation skills important? We just talked about it, right? Functionally, orientation in the field is important. You have to know how to get from point A to point B. You have to know which direction you're facing. Somebody tells you to go north or south, right? We need to know what direction that is. We have to be able to figure out what's the best tactical route for us. And to do that, we have to understand the topography around us. אז זה חשוב לדעת גם איך להגיע מנקודה A לנקודה א' לנקודה ב'. זה גם חשוב להבין מבחינה טופוגרפית איפה אנחנו נמצאים, מה יש מסביבנו, ומה הדרך הכי נכונה לבחור ללכת מהנקודה לנקודה אחרת. אוקיי, איך קוראים מפה טופוגרפית? How do we read a topographic map? Here we can see an example of what a topographic map will look like, or one specific location on a topographic map will look like. The lines, okay, are called kave gova, or contour lines in English. Guys, I recommend that you get a pencil or a pen out and some sort of paper and write this stuff down, okay? So the lines we have here are called contour lines or kave gova, okay? Now these contour lines are essentially telling us what the difference in height is between 2 points, okay? So here we have 10 meters in height, here we have 20 meters in height, here we have 30 meters in height, right? And the closer together these contour lines are, the bigger the difference in height between those, or the more rapidly the change in height will be, okay? אז בעצם קווי גובה אומרים לנו מה ההבדל בגובה בין נקודה אחת לנקודה אחרת, אוקיי? כלומר, פה זה 10, פה זה 20, פה זה 30, פה זה 40, אוקיי? וככל שהקווים יותר קרובים אחד לשני, זה אומר שהמדרון הוא יותר תלול, הוא יותר חד. אוקיי? אז אפשר להסתכל לצורך העניין פה, ולראות למרות שתי הנקודות האלו, ששתי הקווים האלו מאוד קרובים אחד לשני, וזה אומר לנו גם שהשינוי בגובה הוא יותר מהיר. אוקיי? So we can see if these two lines here, that these two lines here are very far away from each other, right? Versus these two lines here, which are much closer to each other. So we know that this is a much more gradual slope, and this is a much sharper slope. Okay? Does everybody understand up to this point? We're all following? Fantastic. So we have contour lines. Okay? We have our slope, and we have our numbers here. And these numbers represent the, Yosef, what do these numbers represent?
The meters in height.
Height in meters. Okay? גובה במטרים. אוקיי? זה מאוד חשוב. מצוין. אז התקדמנו. This is what, for instance, it'll look like outside, right? If you're looking at the mountain, okay? And this is what it'll look like on a topographic map. Okay? As we can see here, this line here follows the height, follows the contour of the mountain, okay? And we can see that same line represented here. Here we can see the peak, right? And we can see that same line represented here. So it's important to remember that these lines represent the change in height. אחלה. בוא נתחיל עם תרגיל קצר. יצחק, אני רוצה שתחבר את זה לתמונה פה. ותגיד לי, הראשון מלמעלה, השני מלמעלה, השלישי מלמעלה. תחבר לי את זה לאחד מהצורות.
הראשון בצד שמאל זה של השני בצד ימין.
זה של השני בצד ימין?
כן.
יאללה, הופ, גיליתי לכם. טוב, זה אחד. אוקיי. רגע, נועם.
זה...
רגע, יצחק.
השני שמאל, זה אחד לפני...
רגע, סליחה, אני נתקעתי לרגע. Somebody else? No, what's the second one? I'm trying to figure out what to do with this. You have to unmute yourself.
It's the one like one above the bottom, like
this one?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Lorenzo, which one is this one?
Top one.
This one over here. Okay.
Sorry,
Kamal.
sorry, the top one. The fourth.
Which one?
The fourth
This one? This one or this one?
Fourth.
Fourth one. Okay. Tamar and Sarah, which one is this one? We can't hear you.
The third one?
This one is this one, you're saying?
Yeah. Wait,
Okay.
no.
Yes, no. Right, what do we see? This is the top, this is the highest point, right?
Yeah. Should it be that one?
Mhm.
Should it be the third one?
Okay. So we're going to say it's the third one. Daniel?
I'd say that's the last one.
Okay. Finally, Mendy. Which one is this one?
That one would be the second one.
The second one?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure? Right. If we look at the contour lines, right? This one
No.
here and this one here, right? Let's count the number of contour lines. It'll tell you if they're the equal height, right? So we have 1, 2.
Which number? Can you just
3.
point to it again? I couldn't see which one you were pointing to.
We're looking at the bottom one, right?
Oh, the last one. Oh, yeah. The last one would be second to the bottom on the left side. Sorry, I just couldn't see properly.
Is the which one?
Second to the bottom.
Second to the bottom, this one?
No, like, sorry, the one on the right-hand column. You're saying the last one on the right-hand column, right? That would match up.
No. We're looking the other way around. So we're looking at this
Okay.
one. Is my mouse not on the right spot?
No, it's very small for me, so I can't really see yet. So
Got it.
that one, bottom on the left, probably match up with the fourth on the right.
The fourth one on the right?
Actually, no, sorry, the top one.
Okay, which one is the fourth one on the right? Which one is this
That
one?
one.
What's that one?
That one would be the third on the left.
Third on the left. Okay, right? And if we look at the contour lines, we can just go ahead and look without knowing anything about the actual heights, right? We can say this has 1, 2, 3, 4 contour lines before it gets to this middle part here, right? And this one has 1, 2 contour lines before it gets to this one here. So there's going to be a bigger difference in height for this one, right? Than this one. So אם אפשר פשוט לספור את הקווי גובה ולהבין שיש פה 4 קווי גובה לפני האמצע, ופה יש 2 קווי גובה לפני האמצע, אז יהיה הבדל יותר משמעותי בגובה בזה, למרות את השתי קווים פה. Okay? Everybody understands? Great. Okay, so we're going to move on here. I don't know why it's not showing me all of the arrows. This has gone through some alterations. So it was made a little bit ago. Here, for example, we can see example of contour lines, right? And exactly how they work out from perspective of heights. Okay, so let's talk about common abbreviations on the map, right? We have a nun tzadik, which is a nekudat tziyun. Okay, שזה nun tzadik nekudat tziyun, which is a point of interest. We have nun hey, שזה נקודת התחלה, okay, a starting point. We have a nun sof, which is a nekudat sof, or an ending point. We have the memchet, which is a ma'avar chova. So it's a mandatory point that we have to cross. We have a nun gimel, which is a nekudat gova, okay, elevation point. A nekudat trig, which is the highest point in the area. And a gimel gimel, which is a gvulot gizra, or the boundaries, okay? Mitsuyan. Anybody want to tell me what that blue line is?
אה,
Go ahead.
אפשר
זה-
לשאול שאלה קטנה?
כן, בטח.
נקודת טריג, לא הבנתי מה זה.
נקודת טריג, אוקיי, אז צריך להסתכל על המפה להבין בדיוק מה זה. בעצם זה נקודה על המפה שאפשר לראות כמעט מכל נקודה אחרת באזור שלך, ובמידה ואתה יודע 2 נקודות טריג, אתה יכול להבין איפה אתה ממוצע בשטח, איפה אתה נמצא בשטח, אוקיי? באמצעות כל מיני חישובים. אבל זה פחות קריטי לעכשיו, אוקיי? נעבור על זה, באמת נעבור על זה עוד מעט. אוקיי.
Another question.
Sure.
What's the difference between the end point and the target point? I think it was-
Okay, so
I mean, yeah.
let's say you have to go from point A, right? You're starting off point, you go from there, then you have to reach a specific mission objective. Okay, you're not ending there, right? You have to go through there, you have to be there, and then from that point you go to the end point. Okay, your extraction point.
Kind of like a checkpoint.
It's not a check, yeah, it's like a checkpoint or a mission point or something. Yeah, it's
Okay.
something that you have to go to. Okay, Mitsuyan.
You won't be starting and finishing in the same place.
You won't be necessarily starting and finishing in the same place. אחלה. קו כחול, יודעים מה זה? Yeah, blue line, pretty intuitive. It's a river. It's a place where a river could be. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's always going to be water there, okay? It's really important to understand that. A blue line doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be water there. Now let's talk about real quick. I think we're missing a lot here, Jacob.
I think if you look at the next slide, it's more.
Okay, you touched on these different points first. Okay. There's different types of trails you can see on a map. Okay. You know, let's come back to this. I don't want to talk about this right now. Let's talk about maps. Okay. So we have 3 primary, יש לנו 3 סוגי מפות שנראה בפועל. Okay, we have 3 primary maps that we're going to see. The first map we're going to see is called a מפת תצ"א. Okay, תצלום אווירי. Okay, it's a, what is the translation for that? Anybody who's just looking at this map, what is the translation for a tazza?
Aerial picture.
Aerial photo, right? It's just an aerial photograph of what we're looking at. Okay. Just gonna move this shit out of the way.
Satellite? I think satellite picture is more.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
satellite image. Yeah. Okay. And what does this give us? This primarily gives us the most current picture of the field that we can get, okay? זה נותן לנו את התמונה הכי מעודכנת של השטח, okay? This is a picture of להבים, right? Yeah, זה תמונה של להבים, okay? And here we can see להבים, the city. We can see the construction sites that we have going on here, right? We can also see what the field generally looks like, okay? We can see that there's roads, and we can see there's a forest here. So this gives us the most up-to-date picture of what the field looks like from even like 2000, okay? And if we go ahead and we compare that to this map here, right? This map here was probably made in 2010, something like that. And here we can see there's no construction here, right? This is called a mapat code, okay? קוראים לזה mapat code. The mapat code is good for understanding really well what different routes you have available to you. It gives you a little bit of the topography, okay? It gives you the city that you're looking at. It'll give you major roads. But the primary problem with the mapat code is that it's very busy. This is the map you're going to get in the army, by the way. This is the map that you're going to get in the army when you're doing navigation. This is what it's going to look like. It's just a very busy map. There's a lot going on. There's names, there's different symbols here, right? There's all these roads that are here. There's the city. And here it's very hard to see the topography. במפת קוד, אחד מהבעיות זה שזה מאוד מאוד מבולגן. יש המון מידע על המפה, זה המפה שתקבלו בצבא, והוא פשוט מאוד דחוס. הרבה פעמים מאוד קשה לראות בדיוק מה הטופוגרפיה שעליו אנחנו רוצים להסתמך, ולפעמים עדיף פשוט להסתכל על מה שנקרא מפה טופוגרפית, okay? These guys are all the same exact location, okay? 3 different maps. So here, שוב, מפת תצ"א, תצלום לוויין, okay? Aerial photograph. Here we have מפת קוד, okay? And here we have a topographic map, okay? The topographic map, exactly as the name suggests, is just the topography. What do I mean by topography? Somebody want to explain what topography is?
Just the height differences.
Right, topography is what is the differences
Perfect.
in height? Yeah, what are the differences in height in the location that I'm at? Okay. And here we can see very well that there's a river here. We can see the differences in contour lines, right? We can see all the contour lines really clearly. Okay, we can see the heights of all of the mountains that we're interested in looking at. All right. And we're going to learn right now how to read one of these maps. Okay, how to read one of these maps. Same map as this, right? אנחנו עכשיו הולכים ללמוד איך לקרוא מפה טופוגרפית. And now I want to ask you guys, why is it important that we learn to read a map like this, right? Or a map like this? Why do we need to know what these lines even mean? Anybody have any ideas? Why? למה בכלל להתאמץ?
And to decide on a most efficient route to somewhere.
Okay, but like, why can't I just pull out my phone and do that?
Because you're not always going to have cell service and you don't want to be walking up gigantic hills for the next 5 hours, I would think.
Okay, all right. So there's
Is it
the
so
element of
that you could-
technology. Go ahead, Tamara.
Is it so that you could know the terrain that you're surrounded by?
Okay, there's a very good answer, right? So if I tell you that I want to go, if I ask you how do I get from one place to another in a city, how would you explain to me how to get there? יצחק, אם אני שואל אותך, איך אני מגיע למקום מסוים בתוך עיר, איך אתה מסביר את זה?
ישר שמאלה.
כן, אבל יפה שאתה
בכיכר
אומר
ימינה.
ישר שמאלה, בדיוק, אבל איך אתה מסביר את זה? כאילו זה שאתה אומר ישר ושמאלה, איך אתה מסביר איפה לקחת שמאלה?
מנווט אותו ליד.
כן, אבל איך אתה קורא לנקודה שבה הוא צריך לקחת שמאלה או ימינה?
בפנייה הבאה תפנה ימינה, אחרי זה
בדיוק,
יש לך חנות.
there's names, יש שמות, נכון? לכל כביש יש שם, נכון?
כן.
וכך אנחנו יכולים להגיד לו, תפנה פה ימינה, תפנה פה שמאלה, right? Every street has a name, right? If you're walking around in the city, and that's how you know, like, okay, I'm going to turn here left and I'm going to turn here right, okay? So for us, when we're learning to read a topographic map, what we're really learning is what's the name of this street, okay? Right? I look over here and I say, תפנה ימינה פה. אני אומר לך, תפנה ימינה פה. איך קוראים לזה? מה זה פה? אוקיי? מה הנקודה הזאתי? איך אני קורא לזה? אוקיי? מה השם של הדבר הזה? ואיך אני מסביר למישהו שאני מתכוון בשפה שכולנו מבינים, איך אני מסביר לו, איך אני מגיע מפה לפה, לצורך העניין, אוקיי? So we're trying to generate a common language between all of us that will allow us to explain how we get from here to here, right? Using the names of streets. If we're trying to think about cities, here obviously there's this valley and this hill are not going to have names, but we're going to learn how to describe where we are topographically, okay? We're not going to use names anymore because names don't exist in the field, but we're going to learn to describe how we get from point A to point B topographically, okay? And that means that we can't rely on roads for any of this because roads change, and we'll talk about that later, but roads change. אי אפשר להסתמך על שבילים, שבילים משתנים, okay? But what doesn't change is the topography. And if it does change, it'll be because a nuclear bomb went off or there's construction happening, and it's going to be very obvious that that's what happened, okay? ואם הטופוגרפיה כן משתנה, אז יהיה מאוד מאוד ברור לנו שזה מה שקרה. Okay. Go ahead.
Since Israel has a lot of mountains and surely Jerusalem area, don't they usually terraform a lot? Like, I don't know, like break down a small mountain to put a road.
Again, it'll be very, very obvious. A construction project where you're literally smashing a mountain will be obvious. And we're going to talk about a specific location here. Actually, we talk about it here. This road here was constructed, right? And here they had to flatten out the mountain in order to construct this road. We'll talk about it. Okay, but it's going to be very obvious to you that that's a change that happened. And they also updated topographic maps accordingly. Okay. All right. Okay, we're missing a lot here, Jacob. I'm going to jump over to the other presentation real quick.
Go for it.
Okay. Magnifique. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about כיוונים. Perfect. So דיברנו על סוגי מפות. Okay. Is there any questions about this, by the way? Nobody. Everybody's good?
How do you call the topographical maps in Hebrew?
Mapa, it's just literally transliterated, so it's topography, you know?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's like a lot of words in Hebrew are just English words. We're good. Noam, you're good. Yosef, you're good. Lorenzo, Doron, Tamar, Daniel, Mendy, everybody's good?
I have actually a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, how would you identify flat terrain?
Flat terrain?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look here, for instance. Okay. Mm-hmm. If we want to.
I see.
Right. So we talked about contour lines and how they represent differences in height. Right. So we can find places where the contour lines are very far away from each other. Right. Mm-hmm. And that'll indicate to us that there's very little change in the height of these locations. All right. Now, question for you. If we look at these maps together, what does that tell you? Why is that area probably so flat?
Where? Which area?
Why do you think this area here? Anybody have any idea? מישהו אולי יודע? למה האזור הזה כל כך שטוח? Does anybody have idea why this area is so flat?
Because it's where the city is, no? The settlement.
Right? Now, I can't tell you if the city was built there because it's flat or it's flat because the city is there, right? But
a city doesn't necessarily mean it's flat. You can have a city on top of a mountain.
Sure, yeah, you can go to but generally we like to build things on flat areas, right? Unless you go to like San Francisco or something, you know, along those lines. Generally, cities, it's comfortable for us to build them on flat spaces. Okay, and we can also understand the logic, right? The underlying logic for why somebody settled here versus here, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Good question. אוקיי, יצחק, איך קוראים למפה?
מפת, איך אתה אמרת? דמוגרפית, לא?
לא,
תבליט.
לא דמוגרפית, קודם כל, טופוגרפית, אבל לא. איך קוראים למפה הזאת? איזה סוג מפה זה?
מפת תבליט. זה תצ"א צילום אוויר.
תצ"א, בדיוק. אוקיי, דורון. What's the name of this map?
Is that a מפת, what was that? תצלום אווירי, תצ"א.
No, we just said this was a tazza, right?
Oh, you
What is
changed
this?
it now. This is a topographical map.
Great, this is a mapa topographic. Fantastic. Daniel, what is this?
That's a demographic map.
Topographic, guys. Demographic maps are not here. Demographic maps are for when
Ah.
we're looking to see which group of people live in a specific area. Okay. What is this? Is a what is this? This is a mapat. What?
Topographic.
This is a code, a mapat code. Okay.
Right.
Because it has all these different names on it. Okay. In the army, you're gonna get it. It's gonna have code names on it and whatever. That's why it's called a mapat code. Okay. That this is like a mix between a topographic map and it has a whole lot of extra information on it. All right. Okay. How do we read topographic maps? קודם כל, כיוונים. Okay. First things first, directions. יש לנו צפון. יוסף, what is צפון?
North.
North. Okay. נועם, מה זה דרום?
South.
South. Exactly. Now the hard ones. לורנזו, מה זה מזרח?
West. East.
מה זה מזרח? I'll ask you, מה זה מזרח התיכון?
Wait.
What's מזרח התיכון?
West.
No, what is מזרח התיכון? Translate מזרח התיכון. אנחנו במזרח התיכון. What is that?
Oh, Middle East. So East,
We're in
yeah.
the Middle East. Okay, so what is מזרח? East. Okay,
Yeah.
great. What's west?
West would be.
יצחק, מה זה west?
לא יודע באנגלית מה זה ווסט.
אני אמרתי מה זה west באנגלית. עכשיו אני שואל אותך מה זה בעברית.
ווסט? לא יודע.
אוקיי, אמרנו צפון, דרום, מזרח, אז מה זה?
כן, אני יודע, מערב?
זה מערב. מצוין, west. אוקיי? יפה. אז יש לנו צפון, north, דרום, south, מזרח, east, מערב, west. אוקיי? איווה. שאלות? So this is our compass, okay? As you can see, our compass has numbers, okay? Those numbers are called your azimuth, okay? בעברית אזימות, אותו מילה. אוקיי? זה מספרים האלו שמופיעים לנו על כל מצפן, on every compass, okay? You can see the word here. We have an azimuth. Okay, so if I say azimuth 270, okay, if I say azimuth 270, מה זה?
West.
West, exactly. Azimuth של 0 is?
North.
North, perfect. Okay. נועם, azimuth של 180?
180 south.
ובעברית?
דרום.
דרום, מצוין. ודורון, 90?
90 is east.
Perfect. שזה?
שזה מזרח.
מזרח. Yeah. Okay, great. So now we have we can see our compass here at the bottom right. Okay, we can also see what ratio our map is compared to real life, right? So a 1-to-1 map, right, would be the size of the actual space that it fills. A 1 to 10,000 map is 10,000 times as small. Okay. We talked about blue lines. We talked about this. Okay. Our best friend, our hand. Okay. Here we can see your hand here. Nature replicates nature, right? הטבע מדמה את עצמה. Okay. So we can imagine our hand as a mountain. Okay. And we have different points on our hand. And we're going to talk about those points right now. Okay. So every time I tell you guys to do this, you're going to, all of you are going to do this. Let me see. Do you guys all have the ability to do that? תרימו יד רגע. מצוין. All right, fight the power. אחלה. Okay, and when we're gonna talk about this. נדבר על זה עוד רגע. Okay. As Aleph, let's talk about the different terminology. We have a kippah. Okay. Kippah is a peak or the highest point. Everybody take your hand. After you finish writing it down, take your hand, take your finger and put it on the top of your knuckle. שימו את זה על קודקוד של I don't know how you say knuckle. How do you say knuckle in Hebrew? שימו את זה פה, okay? עכשיו, now, try and go in any direction with your finger, okay? Tell me what happens to your finger from a height perspective, okay? מה קורה לאצבע? שמנסים להעביר אותו לכל נקודה אחרת. מה קורה? מבחינת גובה.
The steeper it is, the faster it goes.
No, up,
Slower.
down. Does it go up or does it go down?
יורדת.
Right? זה יורד. Doesn't matter which direction I take, north, south, east, west, right? My finger is going to go down, okay? And that's exactly what it's going to be in nature, okay? So for instance, right? Kippot. When we're looking at a kippah, it's going to be the highest point on the mountain, all right? And we're going to talk about this in a second. I have a picture of this that I'm going to pull up now, a topographic picture, all right? This is exactly what we're seeing here. This is the same mountain. Fantastic. עכשיו, I am going to allow you guys to annotate. בוא נראה, איך אפשר לעשות? I forgot how you can do this. All of you can, I think, do this actually, right? Do you all know how to annotate on here?
No.
לא. איך אני עושה את זה?
Guys, if you
No, y'all can annotate.
if you look at the
can
top, it'll say you're reviewing Mendy Madrich's screen. There's also view options. By the view options, you click down and then it says annotate.
Okay.
And then you can
Everybody
draw
understands?
all over.
Okay, fantastic. Now, what I want you guys to do is mark for me the kippot. אני רוצה עכשיו שתסמנו לי על המפה איפה הקיפות. Okay, אפשר לסמן. I'm going to give you guys now like a minute. Mark out where the kippot are real quick. All right. Try and be as precise as possible, okay? יוסף, לאן הלכת? Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, so let's reveal the kippot real quick, right? You guys have a pretty good intuition for what it's supposed to look like. All right, these are the kippot. All right. In addition, okay, yeah, these are the kippot, okay? כולם מבינים למה? Does everybody understand why those are the kippot?
Yeah.
כן? ברור לכולם. Okay, we can see that at the top, there stops being a change in height, right? It flattens out almost. And we can see there that these are the kippot, okay? I'm going to remove the annotation. Where is it? Annotate, clear all drawings. מצוין. Okay, kippot, אחלה. Moving on. Vadi / ערוץ, okay? בעצם, if we take our hand, all right? And we put our finger right here. Okay. These are the Vadi. Okay. מה שמאפיין ואדי, שיש שתי כיווני עלייה, סליחה, 3 כיווני עלייה, אוקיי? וכיוון אחד של ירידה. זה אומר ששם את האצבע שלי פה, אני עולה פה, אני עולה פה, אני עולה פה, ואני יורד פה. אוקיי? Everybody understands that? So far,
Yeah.
what do we have? What is that? מה זה?
כיפה.
כיפה, אוקיי? ויש ערוץ, right? כיפה, ערוץ, כיפה, 4 כיווני ירידה, ערוץ, 3 כיווני עלייה, ו1 ירידה. Okay? 3 directions up, 1 down. Okay.
Just a question. Obviously, it might just be a bit of semantics, but obviously you have rivers who split in two. So obviously you have some places where you have 2 descents, like for rivers. But I don't know if you probably have a different name now.
Find me a river. That's very rare that a river will split in two like that. Usually when
Obviously.
you're talking about, it happens, right? But what do you mean by two descents, right? You're standing inside of, if I'm standing here, right? I'm going this way, I'm going down, okay? But I have to be on one of these. I have to make a decision about where I'm going, all right? The general topographic, okay. בוא ניקח 2 צעדים אחורה, let's take 3 steps back here, all right? These terms are how you describe where to go, okay? They're not a catch-all term for every situation that you're going to be in the shetach, okay? They describe to the best of our abilities how we can describe these locations, all right? And they're true for 99% of the situations you're going to be in. There's obviously always going to be man-made situations that don't match this terminology, and for that you'll have to describe it some other way. Okay? So just real quick, we have ערוץ, and we also have, יש לנו גם נחל. נחל זה בדיוק אותו הדבר, פשוט יותר גדול. אפשר לחשוב על זה כניקוז, נקודת ניקוז של 2 ערוצים, של מפגש ערוצים, okay? So we have our 2, like you were just talking, Lorenzo, you were saying there's 2 different points where the rivers meet, right? And let's say we have here our נחל, okay? And we have our ערוצים are here, okay? So these are הערוצים, ופה באמצע זה הנחל, okay? And this is exactly what it's going to look like in nature. ברור לכולם? Everybody is good? Fantastic. Okay, let's talk about, so we're going to talk about this area here, all right? Do I talk about this? Let's do this real quick. יצחק, תצביע לי רגע על ערוץ בתמונה. אוקיי?
על ערוץ? אני יכול להצביע של
כן, אפשר. למעלה, אתה רואה שאיפה שכתוב שאני משתף מסך, אפשר ללחוץ שמה ולבחור אנוטציה.
בואו תעזור לי, חוסים משהו.
לסמן.
בואו תעזור לי, חוסים משהו פה. איפה אני מסמן פה? טוב, אני יכול להגיד איך אני מסמן פה על המסך.
טוב, יצחק, תבין איך לעשות את זה? דורון, show me where in ערוץ, one ערוץ. show me one ערוץ on the map. Perfect. יאללה, יצחק, אתה מבין איך לעשות?
באופציות, השלישי מלמטה.
יוסף, סמן לי על המפה, ערוץ 1. כמעט, זה לא ערוץ. This is a road, okay? This is a road here.
How do you tell the difference?
It's an understandable confusion, all right? Primarily, you'll look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the thing, okay? And you can tell where the... Yeah, you can see exactly, right? It's like our knuckles. If you look at your knuckle, right? You see where, right? The arutz comes out at the indentation of your fingers, right? Versus in the center of your finger where that's not an arutz, okay?
Gotcha.
Noam, can you mark one arutz for me? Perfect. Okay. Really great. יצחק, סמן לי אחד. מסתדר? Okay. Lorenzo, mark one. Good. Great job. Mendy, can you mark one for me?
Can I just say to the right hand side of the line that's going vertically?
Dude, how do I change my thing?
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I think I do. All right. Daniel, can you mark one for us? Or is he just frozen? I can't tell if that's a picture of him or. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Accepted. And Tamar and Sarah. Good. Okay. All right. יצחק, אתה יכול לסמן לנו אחד? יפה. Okay. This here is, as far as I know, that's not an arutz. That's also a road. Okay. And that's where you have to be careful when you're looking at the pictures. Again, we can look at the bottom of the curvature of the mountain, right? To see that it doesn't match, like if we even looked at our fingers here, right? So that would be this here, right? That would be this area here. And the arutz is right here, right? It's in between the fingers, if we can imagine it that way. All right, so we have an arutz here, we have an arutz here, we have an arutz here, we have an arutz here. יש לנו עוד ערוץ ועוד ערוץ, נכון? ויש לנו עוד משהו פה, אוקיי? ומה זה? Somebody?
מישור.
זה לא מישור, מה זה?
נחל.
זה נחל, מצוין. אתם רואים, הערוצים, all the ערוצים, thank you, Noam, Yitzchak, all the ערוצים are flowing into the נחל, okay? Great. What does that look like on a map? We have the same exact thing we just saw now, but now it's on a map and we've changed it. We've rotated it like that, okay? So we took it before it was facing this direction and we just turned it this way, okay? אז פה הנחל שלנו, אוקיי? רואים פה את הנחל? מצוין. אני צריך להזיז את זה, זה מפריע לי. אז פה הנחל שלנו, אוקיי? ומה זה? What is this, guys? Guys?
A valley.
Right, this is an arutz, right? Okay. Let's clear all drawings. Okay. What is this a valley? Is this a valley here? כן, לא? זה ערוץ?
לא.
No.
Right, a wadi.
Okay.
Is it or isn't it, guys? Yes, no?
No, it's not.
Okay. How can we tell?
The lines.
Okay, yeah.
They should face
בוא
the
נסתכל
north.
על הקווים לרגע, okay? All right, so when we're talking about an arutz, right, what we're going to see here is that, okay? We're going to see a sad face when we look at the ערוצים, okay? כל הקווי גובה הולכים לסמן לנו את זה, okay? כולם רואים? Everybody sees this? Guys, I need you to answer me, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing it, okay? What about here? Is this an arutz?
Yes.
Yes, how do I know?
Lines.
Because the lines.
Great, okay. Can you guys take control for a second? I'm gonna clear all these. Draw for me every place you see one of those lines, okay? Go ahead. All right, and we'll talk about it in a second. I want you to draw all the arutzim, mark them all out like I did just now, okay? It's like a team. Okay, 10 more seconds and we're going to talk about this, all right? עוד 10 שניות ונדבר על מה שציירנו עכשיו. Okay. First of all, I want to ask, spotlight. Okay. First of all, what is this here?
Highway?
This is the road, right? What happened here? Why is so what do you think happened here?
They
What do you mean,
flattened
what
out the
happened?
foot of the hill.
Yeah, they flattened this whole area out, okay? So this is not going to be so good for us to look at. Okay, let's talk about what we saw here. So great, this was all drawn correctly, right? We have an arutz here. We have another arutz going up this way. We have one arutz here. We have another arutz here. Kulam mevinim. Everybody understands why these are arutzim? Yeah, and why we're looking at? We're good? Let's
Yep.
see. Okay, great. What happened over here? What are we looking at here? Right? Nachon, you made the observations. Sad face, right? Arutz. But what's the problem? Why is this not an arutz?
It's
Right.
flat, no? Is it flat?
Not because it's flat. Not because it's flat. Because what happened? What happened between here and here? What's in the middle?
The river.
Right? And it's really important that you guys understand the logic here, right? This is the river. This is going to be the lowest point. So from this point onwards, any direction we go, it's going to be the opposite, right? From our perspective, all the arutzim are going to be reversed now, right? So this is going to be an arutz. Here, let me see if I can draw it real quick. Where did I put my annotate? Anyways, so this is going to be an arutz here, right? We have, I'm trying to see it. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Let's say this is an arutz, right? That we're seeing here, because this is the lowest point. Okay, so here's going to be, as far as we're concerned, the nachal. That's the sad face for the nachal, but it's facing in that direction, right? And here the sad face is facing in that direction. And here the sad face is facing in that direction, right? All because this is the height is going from, this is the top, right? And it's going down this way to the bottom. Okay, is that clear to everybody?
Yep.
All right, I feel like I'm explaining a play from the NFL. As long as as long as we're all clear on that. Bona vorala. Okay, this is what the topographic map will look like. Okay, as you can see, it's much, much clearer, right? We can see bonus amen achshav. Let's do this real quick. All right, I'll give you guys 20 seconds. Just mark out all the arutzim you can find. Go. Okay, perfect. Right. So you guys marked pretty much all of them. Yeah, perfect. We have one here. We have one here. We have one here. Right. And these two, as you can see, Lorenzo, you asked this question, right? So here you can see these two arutzim meet up, right? And at that point, when they meet up, we're standing at this location here, and it's up, 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 or down. Okay, into the river. Here we have another arutz. Here we actually don't have an arutz, right? What we're looking at here you can see there's a kippah. Okay, and here we haven't talked about what this is yet, but you have an arutz or something like it over here. It's a little bit messed up because of the road, right? If we look back at the road, sorry, we can go back, and this is exactly where the road is, right? So the topography is a little hard to read here, but we know that that's an issue. Gampo, right? So this whole side here is where the road is, so it's a little bit hard to read. Okay, let's clear this up. Let's go on to the next. There we go. Okay, so these are all of our arutzim. Let's see, shlucha. A shlucha on our hands is going to be the tips of our knuckles, right? The top edge of our knuckles. Okay, shlucha. All right, so we have our kippah, we have our arutz, and we have our shlucha, slope. אז זה השלוחה, שלוחה, 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 מצוין. אוקיי, מה מאפיין שלוחה? שלוחה שלושה כיווני ירידה ואחד של עלייה, אוקיי? שוב, ירידה, 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 עלייה, אוקיי? השלוחה is always going to lead to what? To which topographic feature? שלוחה תמיד מובילה
עד הכיפה.
לכיפה, אוקיי? תמיד אם אני על שלוחה ואני עולה, אני תמיד אגיע לכיפה, לא משנה מה. ככל שאני ממשיך לעלות, אני אגיע לכיפה. אם התחלתי לרדת, מה זה אומר? If I started going down, what does that mean?
You're going towards the river.
I've already passed, it doesn't mean I've gone to a river, but it means I've already passed the kippah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because what happens on a kippah? Arba kivunei yerida. Okay. What does that look like on a map? Let's go, guys. Mark out for me where a shlucha is on the map, using your hand as the intuition, okay? Again, these are the shluchot, okay? נועם מציע. אוקיי, let's talk about this. בוא נעצור לרגע, נדבר. אוקיי, אז בעצם פה, let's say here, let's start with the good ones, אוקיי? אז זה אחלה, זה שלוחה, אוקיי? This is the whole שלוחה. alright? פה יש עוד שלוחה. אוקיי? שזה בעצם זה, אוקיי? ופה יש עוד שלוחה, right? What is in between two שלוחות? Right, here's another one. What is in between two שלוחות? What is this?
ואדי.
Right? This is a ערוץ or a ואדי, אוקיי? אז פה יש את הערוץ, וזה השלוחה, אוקיי? אז בעצם השלוחות, אם אני יכול clear my drawings, okay? No, it's fine, it's fine. So this shlucha, let's say here, is going to be, you're going to have one here. We saw there's a small arutz here, right? And you're going to have one here. Okay? Since there's a small arutz. פה יש עוד שלוחה. פה זה מצוין, יש עוד שלוחה. פה זה כבר קצת יותר קשה להבין. Okay? But like if we're just looking בפשטות, אז פה שלוחה, פה שלוחה. יאללה, אז בואו נתקדם. Let's clear all. שאלות על זה? Great. Okay. This is what it looks like, right? Remember the road is here. Now I want you guys to mark out the shluchot on this map. Let's do it like this. 2 shluchot per person. אז לסמן 2 שלוחות כל אחד. יצחק, אני לא רואה אותך מסמן פה. I want you guys to draw a line down the center of the shlucha. That's what I want you to do, okay? Okay, 10 more seconds. All right. Somebody marked out all of the arutzim. Beautiful. 3, 2, 1. Okay. And let's talk about what we see. I see we lost somebody's things here, right? Fantastic. We have one shlucha here. We have another shlucha here, right? And a little way we can cheat is if we just run from the top of a kippah, right, in a straight line downwards. And we'll oftentimes on the widest part of the circle, and we'll just go down the shlucha, right? So here's a shlucha, right? Like somebody marked out here. Here's another shlucha. Okay, we're getting for the intuition for what these look like. Here's one. Here's one. You guys did a great job. All right, we're gonna clear all these. We're gonna move on. Are there any
Obviously,
questions? שאלות?
Yeah, obviously in this case we had pictures, so it was clear to see what was up and what was down. But if not, like we usually have to check the numbers, right? Because the only difference between a shlucha and I forgot the name of the other one is the numbers. Because they look the
שלוחן
same.
and ערוץ?
Yeah, they
No,
look the same.
it's not the number, it's the shape. The number here is the same number, right? Here's 415, here's 415, here's 415. This is a shlucha,
No,
this is a
no, but
shlucha, and this is an arutz.
yeah, but if you invert the numbers, then it seems like it's a hill going down. That's what I'm saying.
If you don't, yes, you need to have, so it's very important that you guys understand the context of what you're looking at. And usually you can use kippot to orient yourselves, right? We'll talk about that in the bigger picture that we look at soon. But usually you'll have to use a kippah to orient yourself about what's up and what's down, right? Like you said, for sure. Otherwise, it would just look like this was the top, right? This could look like potentially the top, and these could all look like arutzim that are going down, for sure. Okay? Metsuyan. Ukaf. Ukaf is probably conceptually the hardest one. ukaf זה קצת יותר מסובך, אוקיי? זה המקום שבין הקודקודים של היד, אוקיי? זה האוכף פה. למה זה נקרא אוכף, יצחק?
כי זה כמו, זה נראה לי של נגיד שעל גמל שיש את שתי הבומבות האלו
בדיוק. כן, זה כמו לסוס, יש אוכף, בדיוק, saddle in English, אוקיי? אז ככה קוראים לנקודה הזאת גם כן, alright? It looks like a saddle. So we have a top, two high parts and a low part, אוקיי? אז אוכף מאופיין בזה שיש שתי כיווני ירידה, אוקיי? I can go down, down, up, or up, okay? I have two kipot and two arutsim, okay?
Does it have anything to do with like okef, like a perimeter, or no?
It's the word is like lakof. You're saying to go around.
Yeah.
The word comes from saddle, like it's literally a saddle, like it's a translation. Ukaf literally means a saddle, like for horses or for camels, right? I don't know if there's a connection, but I can check. Let's look it up. So this is what an ukaf looks like, right? This is a standard ukaf. We can see פה רואים כיפה, עוד כיפה, ערוץ וערוץ, אוקיי? כולם רואים? איווה. עכשיו, I want you guys to mark out where the ukafim are. Let's do one ukaf per person. Let's see if you guys can get all of them, okay? You guys know you can have like little stickers and stuff, right? There you go. Okay, 10 more seconds. All the ukafim, mark them out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. These are ukafim, okay? So here are the two obvious ones that you guys notice fairly quickly, right? And a third one here, which I'm gonna go ahead and erase your annotations, right? So we saw one here, we saw one here, we saw one here, okay? But somebody marked this up by accident, I think, right? מישהו סימן את זה בטעות. Okay. Now I gotta ask, what are these? Why are these ukafim? And this will bring us into our next thing. Why are these ukafim?
It's not like the high, because there's on a mountain you can have like higher points, but it's not the highest point of the mountain. So in between there will be a.
Okay. Why is it then that you can have a higher point that's not on the map? Like I'm not seeing it on the map. Why is that? מישהו יודע למה? זה לא מסומן?
Doesn't go up high enough
מה זה
to be.
אומר?
Like the lines are only like every 10 meters, every 50 meters, and it's less than that higher.
בדיוק. יצחק, זה מה שרצית להגיד?
לא הבנתי מה הוא אמר באנגלית.
אוקיי, למה? Go ahead, דורון.
הקווים רק שם שזה עלייה של אולי 10 מטר או 50 מטר, אבל אם זה לא מספיק מטר עלייה, אז לא יש שם קו.
בדיוק, אוקיי? So בעצם יש פה כיפה, there is a peak here, Okay, but the difference in height between this point here and this point here isn't 10 meters, okay? ההבדל בגובה בין פה לפה זה לא 10 מטר, אז בפועל באמת יש שם הבדל בגובה, אבל הוא לא מסומן במפה כי הרזולוציה הוא לא מספיק גבוהה, אוקיי? אם נגיד היינו עושים קו כל 5 מטר, אז כנראה שהיינו רואים את הכיפה הזאת, אבל מכיוון שמי שהכין את המפה לא החליט לעשות את זה, אז אנחנו לא רואים, אוקיי? So we can see here כיפה כיפה, right? ערוץ ערוץ. Here we can see כיפה כיפה, ערוץ ערוץ, right? We can see the small ערוץ here. Let me see. You can see a small ערוץ here, see a small ערוץ here, right? And we see our two כיפות. Here we also have one כיפה here, right? And another כיפה סמויה over here somewhere, okay? And here we have our ערוץ, and here we have our other ערוץ. And even if we look carefully, we can see there's an additional ערוץ here, so there's probably another כיפה סמויה over here as well, okay? And this is like a little bit like next level, right? This is like something that you get used to reading after a bit, and you understand the context of everything, right? So here we have an arutz, and here we have an arutz. So there's probably a kippa smuya here, right? And we have this arutz here, and we have this arutz here. So here's an ukaf, okay? And here's another kippa smuya, okay? כולם הבינו את הנקודה? Everybody understand that? Noam? You got it? You got the idea? Kipot smuyot, mitsuyan. So these two are the weird ones out, right? We talk about them. What's happening? It's called a kippa smuya. Okay, so it's less than 10 meters of change in elevation, and it doesn't appear on a map. Yalla, samnuli kipot smuyot. Guys, let's take each person take one kippa smuya and mark it out. Try and use a sticker or a small circle. Because you guys have to be precise here when you do this. צריך להיות מדויקים, תסמנו לי את הכיפות הסמויות. Okay, we can find the כיפות סמויות, אני מזכיר, by using ukafim, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. So these are our kipot, right? And we have a kippa smuya there. We have another kippa smuya there. We have another kippa smuya, okay? There's a lot of them. Somebody marked one perfectly. Okay? ובעצם מה שאנחנו מחפשים זה ukaf, okay? We look here, we see there's a ערוץ ערוץ, kippa over here, right? Here's another kippa smuya and kippa. So we know that here there has to be kippa smuya. Okay. Let's clear all the drawings. Okay. קו רכס. Okay, קו רכס is the ridge line. זה אם אנחנו לוקחים את כל הכיפות שיש, אחד אחרי השני, okay, זה הקו רכס. Okay? This is the קו רכס, this whole thing. It's usually divided by a river, so you'll have two קווי רכס, right? And you'll have the river in the middle. So this is a קו רכס, this is a קו רכס, and in the middle you have the river. There we go. Okay. This is what it'll look like on a tatza. This is the mapa topographic. Okay. So we can see, right? Kippa, 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 right? In the middle we have the river. We have the river, and then we have another kav reches here. If we look at it from the mapa topographic, let's see. That's the river. Okay. Now I want you guys, let's say Noam. I want you to go, which side do we start on? We started on that side. Okay. So from here, I want you to take me to here while going from kippa to kippa on the kav reches without going down. Okay. Can you mark that for me? From this point, right? Take me to here. בלי לרדת.
It's impossible. You said once you're on the kippah, you have a descent in all four
Sorry, without
directions.
getting, בלי לרדת מהקו רכס. סליחה, אני אחדד.
Okay.
צודק. אוקיי? יפה מאוד. אוקיי? אז בעצם אנחנו הולכים מנקודה אחת לעוד נקודה, right? מכיפה לעוד כיפה לעוד כיפה, right? And the whole time we're staying on the קו רכס, okay? Until we get to where we want it to go to. And this is very convenient, let's say, when we want to know that we got to this kippah, we can count the number of kippot that we passed, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5, and then, yeah, if I wanted to go here, 6, and then I know from here I have to go, which direction is this, guys? איזה כיוון זה?
מערב.
Okay, מערב מה?
מערב.
דרומית מערבית.
Northwest.
צפון או דרום? מה הכיוון הזה?
צפון.
נכון, צפון מערב, and then I'll get to my peak, right? אני יודע שאני צריך ללכת מכיפה 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ואז אני צריך ללכת צפון מערב, ואני הגעתי לכיפה שלי, okay? And that's how I know, and that's my streets. I went through these 6 streets, and now I got to my כיפה, ועכשיו הגעתי ליעד שלי, okay? צד שני, מי רוצה לעשות? Tamar and Sarah, you guys want to do it? Yes, no? We can't hear you.
Not so much, sorry.
Okay. Yosef,
Okay.
right? You're going to take me from here. Sorry, I can't really see. From here to, I think I said here. Let's see. Yeah, take me from here to here without getting off the Kav Reches, okay?
Well, then I need to zoom out a little bit. Where's your second marker?
Here.
Over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
בלי לרדת מהקו רכס, אוקיי? טוב, חבר'ה, תרגישו חופשי לעשות את זה בעצמכם, בראש.
Yeah, my lines are a bit crooked.
Sure, אוקיי. באופן כללי זה מאוד נכון. מצוין. יצחק, קח אותי מפה לפה, בלי לרדת מהקו רכס. מצוין. אוקיי? ואנחנו מבינים מה יש פה. מה זה?
פה ואדי.
זה ערוץ, יפה. זה ואדי. אוקיי? מישהו אחר מה זה? Somebody else, what is this? What did I just draw out here? Tamar? Sarah? What is this? Guys, I don't hear you.
Is it in Haaretz?
That's in Arutz, exactly. What is this? I don't know which one of you is Tamar and which one of you is Sarah, but the one who didn't answer, what is this? You can unmute yourself.
I just see.
Go ahead.
I forgot the name for it.
I promise I'm not trying to trick you. It's the same thing it was last time. What is this?
Oh, so also in Haaretz.
That's also an arutz, okay? So this is, you can see there's a very big difference in the size of these arutzim, right? זה ערוץ מאוד מאוד רחב, אוקיי? ופה ערוץ מאוד מאוד צר, אוקיי? מצוין. Here we can continue. יפה. זה, כל זה על קו רכס והנחל באמצע. אוקיי. יאללה, הולך להיות מבחן, דברים החשובים. אוקיי, מה זה כיפה?
The peak.
כיפה זה פיק. אוקיי, חבר'ה, להצביע גם על היד. בואו נראה. להחזיק את היד רגע. Guys, pick up your hands. Let's see on your hands. מה זה כיפה? מצוין. אוקיי, מה זה ערוץ? העוקף, סליחה, מה זה עוקף? מה זה עוקף?
Saddle.
Yeah, okay. Let's see it on your hand, guys. Where is it? איפה העוקף? העוקף הוא פה. מצוין. העוקף הוא בין שתי האצבעות. מצוין. קו רכס, מה זה קו רכס? What is a קו רכס? בדיוק.
Peak line.
Okay. It's the line of all the mountains, okay? It's the range.
The ridge line.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a קו רכס, right? Remember, two קווי רכס. There's going to be a נחל in the middle. נחל, מה זה?
The river.
נחל is a river, okay? שלוחה.
Know that answer again?
What is a slope? Yeah, good Noam. What's a slope on your hand? Right, exactly. This is the shlucha, okay? זה השלוחה. אחלה. ערוץ. איפה ערוצים? יפה. וכיפה סמויה, יודעים מה זה, קווי גובה, יודעים מה זה, right? קווי גובה are?
Elevation lines?
Contour lines, okay?
Contour lines,
קווי
okay.
גובה, בדיוק, אוקיי? וציר, what is it, ציר? We didn't say it. This is bonus points, if anybody knows. Tier is a route, okay? מצוין. אוקיי? נשלח לכם את זה אם אתם רוצים. אחלה. עכשיו. זה בעצם מה שעשינו עד עכשיו, אבל בואו תסמנו לי את כל הכיפות. I don't know if I marked out, did I like write somewhere what I'm actually looking at? Yeah, okay, let's start with that. Okay, בואו נעשה 2 כיפות per person, okay? And do it with a sticker so that we can see
How do I
who's
get a
doing what.
sticker?
Okay. You go to annotate, and then
Yeah.
you pick a stamp, and then it'll have like different shape stamps. Okay.
I have pen, arrow, color, erase, and save.
So do arrow.
Arrow?
Yeah.
Let me erase my squiggles.
יצחק, אתה מסמן? כל הכיפות. או 2 כיפות.
Looks like there'd be another one right there. Wait,
כיפות,
erase
רק
it.
כיפות, חבר'ה. נגיע לכיפות הסמויות עוד מעט. Oh my god. Bigger screen. טוב. Okay, let's stop. Let's just look at this for a second. Okay, so what do we have here? What am I looking at here?
Kipotzi smut.
What is this?
The hidden ones, like the smaller.
Okay. What do we have here? What is that marked out as?
Kipa.
Okay. Lorenzo, what did you say earlier? Remember what you said earlier? אתה זוכר מה אמרת לפני זה?
Fitting lines.
How do we know what up is and what down is?
Oh, by the numbers.
By the numbers, right? Okay, so what number do we have here? What number is that? You guys see it?
420.
That's 420, yeah. And what's this number here?
485.
485. So where's up and where's down, right? איפה למעלה ואיפה למטה?
So 485 is up.
That's right, okay. So what is this? מה זה?
This is the peak.
זה כיפה. מצוין, אוקיי? ומה זה? עוד נגיע לזה. עוד נבין מה זה. אוקיי, בואו נגלה רגע. Okay, let's clear all these real quick. Right, here are the כיפות. ברור לכולם, למה? Is this clear to everybody? Okay, so we have, יש לנו כיפה, עוד כיפה פה, עוד כיפה פה, עוד כיפה פה. אוקיי? יפה. עכשיו, בואו נדבר רגע על ערוצים. אוקיי? I think I asked for ערוצים next, right? No. כיפות סמויות, יאללה. Everybody, כל אחד שיסמן שתי כיפות סמויות שהוא רואה. אוקיי? כנראה שלא הובהר הנקודה. Guys, use the כיפות to understand what's up and what's down, okay? If once you understand what's up and what's down, you'll understand where כיפות סמויות would be. All right? Because I still see here on the right that somebody's marked out these spots here, right? Okay? We'll talk about what this is in a second, but I can tell you this is not, none of this is a כיפה, okay? Jacob, I'm sure you actually recognize this spot. This is like a very well-known aliyah. This is in like, this is by the camping ground. This is before the campground up to the Ingvod Goral.
No, like the back of my hand, bro.
Yeah. Okay, guys, 10 more seconds, and I'm going to reveal where the kippot smuyot are. Again, these are not kippot smuyot, okay? יפה. 3, 2, 1, okay. Fantastic. So here are the kippot smuyot. I think you've gotten most of them, right? Yeah, we got most of them. Again, whoever marked these are not kippot, right? We have to understand if this is the kippah and this is the high point, a kippah has to be at the highest point on the map, right? Or one of the highest points on the map. And we'll talk about what these are in a second. It'll become much more obvious. Okay, let's go ahead.
שושו, שאלה קטנה?
כן, בטח.
לא הבנתי כל כך מה אמרת באנגלית. על הכיפות האלו שרואים אותם בצד צפון מערב, הארוך הזה, יש שם כיפות סמויות, נכון?
לא, אין פה כיפות סמויות, ונסביר מה זה בעוד רגע, כי אני לא רוצה לגלות לכם מה זה, אבל אם תשתמשו בהיגיון שלכם, תבינו שזה לא יכול להיות כיפה. כי אם הכיפה פה, וזה גובה 485, נכון? ופה זה קו גובה של 420, לא ייתכן שיהיה פה כיפה. יכול להיות שיש בנקודה אחת בדבר הזה כיפה סמויה, אבל זה לא, כל זה לא כיפה. כי יכול להיות שיש פה איזושהי נקודת גובה, הייתי אפילו מתיימר להגיד, אבל כל זה לא כיפה, מה שיש פה. וצריך להבין קודם איפה הגובה ואיפה הנקודות הנמוכות יותר, אוקיי? אבל כל אלו זה כיפות סמויות, מה שמסומן בלבן. אוקיי, ועכשיו, and now, I want you to mark all the ukafim, אוקיי? כל אחד מסמן עכשיו 2 ukafim. יפה דורון. יפה יצחק. יפה לורנזו. איתך גם סימן. מי חסר לנו? מי סימן עכשיו? טוב מאוד. Missing some people, נועם. Let's see. Okay. All right. We all good? Great. Okay, here are all the yukafim. Noam, why did you mark over there? What was the...
My computer's glitching.
Okay. No, I was like wondering if there's something wrong. יש שאלות פה לגבי יוקפים?
Okay.
Okay.
Is it possible to have ukafim that are technically in valleys, since the mountain range is like a U shape?
Yeah, of course. It depends on the difference in height, but you could have a very like drastic difference in height, and the mountain range is here, and the ukaf is all the way down here, and then you have two rivers on either end. But it'll be something like that. זה אפשרי, yeah. Okay. Oh, גיליתי לכם. ערוצים, guys. סמנו לי ערוצים. All right, each person marks an ערוץ. There's the two obvious ones that everybody should jump on. יפה, יוסף, מצוין. יפה, יצחק לורנזו. דורון, אחלה. חסר לי אחד. I'm seeing one that you guys are not marking at all. Good, Noam. Okay, 5 more seconds. I think you guys got most of them. Good. Okay, yeah, so the two biggest ones, Lorenzo managed to mark out. Okay, here we go. These are the ערוצים. All right, as you can see, you can go from the ukaf straight down. Okay, אפשר לראות שאפשר לרדת ישירות מהאוקף למטה. Okay, אז יש פה את האוקף, והוא מסמן לנו את הכי גבוה. We have the ukaf, it marks the highest point for us, and then we have these frowny faces down from either end, right? Frowny faces or smiley faces, depending on your perspective, but this is the perspective, right? Frowny face, frowny face. Same thing here, right? Where we have the ukaf and we have our ערוצים going down here. This is a big, this is a נחל, okay? מה שסימנתם פה ככיפה סמויה זה נחל. ונראה לי אנחנו מתעייפים, אז בואו נתקדם. So that we can finish this in the next 15 minutes. Because I think it's a lot, and you guys learned a lot, and I want you to actually remember it. So last thing we're going to do is שלוחות, okay? אפשר לסמן לי את כל השלוחות שיש פה? Let's take 2 per person so that everybody has an opportunity, but shluchot, guys. I want you to do a line straight down the shlucha, all right? So I'll give an example for one. So here's the shlucha, right? I want you to go straight down the shlucha, okay? יפה, נועם. מצוין. אז שוב, יצחק, אני רוצה שזה יהיה קו ישר מהקודקוד של השלוחה עד סופו, אוקיי? מצוין, עוד 10 שניות. יפה, יצחק. Noam, do you see another one that you can mark out? Look on the right side. There's a few on the right side that haven't been marked yet. יפה, יצחק. לורנזו, מצוין. זה קצת ערוץ. So Noam, that's a little bit of an ערוץ. אחלה. Okay, I think we've gotten all of them. Okay, now I'm going to clear your drawings real quick. We can...
between each between each 2 shluchot and shluchot between each 2 ערוצים?
כמובן, ויש. Okay, You can take a look now. The red arrows are shluchot and the blue arrows are arutzim, and they point in the direction of like ascent or descent, okay? אז אפשר לראות ממש, בין כל שתי ערוצים, בין כל שתי שלוחות, יש ערוץ, אוקיי? אז נגיד זה ערוץ פה, בין השלוחה הזאתי והשלוחה הזאתי, יש עוד ערוץ, אוקיי? And guys, if you could try and activate your imaginations, אפשר לדמיין קצת, imagine that this is your hand, right? And you're putting it there, like on top of the map almost, or even if you want to look at it from the side here, on the arutzim and the shluchot that are on the right side of the map. If you can really imagine that you're putting your hand there and you're seeing like where the knuckles match up with the arutzim and the shluchot, okay? And I can say, I don't know when we'll be able to do this, but when we go out to the field to actually see this, you're going to see this exact area, and you're going to see on the right side that it exactly looks like your hand. Okay, it matches. זה בדיוק מדמה את היד שלך. Hopefully in the not so distant future, depending on Corona. טוב, יאללה, ראינו את זה, זה עשינו כבר, טוב, זה לא כזה חשוב. I just wanted to, רק בנקודה אחת, לפני שנסיים פה, למה אנחנו לא מסתמכים על מסלולים, או על שבילים, או על כבישים, okay? Why don't we rely on man-made objects to help us orient ourselves? Why are we spending all this time trying to figure out the topography of the area we're walking in, okay? So this is a picture from 2005, okay? Everybody recognizes this area, right? This is the area that we first looked at. I know, right? It's hard to recognize, right? We can see here, there's a grove, like an olive grove. יש מטע זיתים פה. יש כביש אחד, נכון? ויש את הנחל שלנו. אוקיי, אז בואו נעבור כמה שנים קדימה. אוקיי, ובואו נשווה. Suddenly there's a road that wasn't there. Okay, there's this road here. היה שביל פה. אבל פתאום, כעבור שנתיים, 2 years later, okay, we have a much bigger road here that's grown out, okay, in this direction and met up with this, right? And the mata has shrunk a little bit, okay? And then if we go 2 years further, suddenly this 1-lane highway has turned into a 2-lane highway, right? This is shrunk. We have this new road here, and we have a much larger road. So what happens if you would come here and you were expecting to see a single-lane highway with no road, so to speak, and you get over here, and suddenly there's a 2-lane highway with 3 roads, right? You're going to get lost. You're going to be completely confused about where you are. And this stuff changes in the span of, I want to say 10 years, right? אבל מה לא השתנה ב10 שנים האלו? What didn't change in those 10 years, right? Just keep an eye on this area here. The mountains are still there. Exactly. They didn't go anywhere, right? And where it did change down here is very obvious, right? Like it's very obvious that they built a road. It's very, right? It's very, very clear that this is what happened here. And this is the reason we don't rely on man-made things when we're planning our routes or when we're planning our navigations, okay? It's okay to walk on a road, but it's not okay for you to say, I'm going to walk from this road to this road. זה בסדר גמור אם אתם רוצים ללכת על מסלול, ואתם אומרים שאני בניתי מסלול שמבוסס טופוגרפית, okay, I built a route that was topographically planned, ואני הולך על המסלול, אבל אני יודע מה הטופוגרפיה שלי. So I'm going on this road, but I know what the topography is. What's not okay is to say, I'm going to go from here to here. I'm going to go from this road to this road. And you're going to see that when we go out into the field and we plan these routes, that's exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to yell at you, okay? אז תהיו מוכנים לזה שאתם מבססים את המסלולים שלכם על טופוגרפיה ולא על מה שיש, קוראים לזה תכסית ותבליט. Okay, we're not going to do this. I think we're done for today. But I don't know. Do you guys want to do this? I think we're good, right? Okay. So בוא נעשה דבר כזה. I'm going to stop sharing.
Maybe next week we'll continue with a follow-up lesson.
If anybody's interested, I would like to continue in the field. I think we can do something where we meet outside. We'll do a nivut, maybe in Achlaot or something. It's totally possible. אם אתם מעוניינים, אפשר להיפגש בחוץ שבוע הבא, ונסדר איזשהו ניווט בנחלאות, נלמד איך לנווט על תצה, כמו שעושים בדובדבן. יצחק, עושים את זה באמת. אני לא צוחק, כאילו ראינו את זה לפני שבועיים.
אני בבידוד.
שתצא מבידוד, בעוד שבוע, שבועיים. We'll plan something out, we'll put out something, and we'll try and do some sort of navigation inside of Jerusalem, if somebody's interested, okay? Are there any questions? הכל מובן?
I'm just a little bit confused in how you recognize a kipat smuya. Like how you see if they're like hidden. Recognize
Okay. Like how you recognize it on a map, or how you would recognize it, let's say,
No,
in the
on a
field?
map.
Okay.
On a map.
So on a map, what you're gonna have to do is basically look at so many things open. Here, let's use this as an example even. Sorry. Okay. So on a map, okay, פה יש לנו כיפה. Here we have a כיפה. And here we have a כיפה סמויה. Okay. So first of all, we can tell that this is kind of an area that's supposed to be a little elevated. And how do we tell? We can see here there's an ערוץ, נכון? ופה יש עוד ערוץ. Okay, we can see that there's an ערוץ here. And we can see that there's an ערוץ here. And here we can tell that there's an ukaf, because if there's a kippah, arutz, there has to be another kippah here, right? That's the rule we made for ourselves. There's an ukaf, kippah, arutz, right? Okay. It takes a little bit of practice. I won't lie to you. I won't be like, oh, it's the easiest thing in the world to figure out. If we even look on this side here, let's use a different map that's less busy. Here, let's use yeah. Oh, it just froze. Okay.
Mendy, I'll use an example.
Sure.
If you look at your knuckles, okay, going back to this, you see how some of them are higher than the others? Okay. No, I'm thinking about the fact that if there's less than 10 meters between this knuckle and this knuckle won't show up as a circle on the map. Okay. But in reality, you still have this knuckle. And that's what it's talking about when you have a kippah moya, when this knuckle isn't, there's not enough difference between this knuckle and the other knuckle to show that this knuckle is on the map.
On the map, yeah. And if we, let's say we made a difference of 10 of, like, because it's 10 meter differences, if we said that there's a 5 meter difference and each 5 meter difference is a line, a kav gova, right, on the map, then we would see it. But since we decided randomly, we decided 10 meters is the cutoff, so it just doesn't show up. But in reality, it's obviously still there, right? As כאילו פה, this is like a great example, okay? As like this is a kippah, right? Baruch is the kippah, and like we can see that there's ukaf in the middle, right? Right? But the problem is the differences in height between this point here, which is probably the kippah, and this point here, which is the kippah, are not great enough for us to see it on the map. אבל ברור לנו שיש פה כיפה ויש פה עוד כיפה, ופה באמצע יש ukaf. Okay? And it's the same thing, let's say here. We can see that there's a height difference. We can see that there's an arutz. We can see there's an arutz. And we can see there's a kippah here. So there must be a kippah here, but it just doesn't show up on the map because the height difference isn't enough. It's 9 meters of height difference instead of 10. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
בכיף. עוד שאלות? קול.
תודה רבה.
בכיף. סתם שאני אבין, who's actually interested in doing something like this, going out to do a ניווט now, like do באמת מפה טופוגרפית, תצה, נתקור נקודות. You guys interested?
Yeah.
Doron?
Yosef Betoon is.
I don't think I'll be able to because I'm mostly in yeshiva, like
Sure.
in capsules and stuff.
Okay. If you can, let me know. יוסף, yes. יצחק, אתה בבידוד. אם אתה יכול אתה משתחרר בבידוד, מתי אתה משתחרר בבידוד?
ב-21 אני אמור להשתחרר, אבל השותף שלי לחדר הוא ב-24, אז...
הבנתי. אוקיי. לורנזו?
Are you talking about like us or are you talking the army?
Now,
like
us,
yeah,
like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it'd be interesting. Yeah.
עד 10 אנשים.
Also
We have to talk about it, man.
We'll talk about it. My wife is like, nah, We'll
I
figure it
agree
out.
with her.
We'll see.
Also
נדבר
another
על זה, but like if it's something that people are interested in, we'll figure out a time and a day and we'll work on it.
question about the army.
Sure.
Like we did it now in like 2 hours, right? Or 1.5 hour. I guess in the army you probably have a whole course of like a week to train for it. So what do they do in the army that makes it different? I know usually coursing takes some time, no?
In the
Or maybe-
army, you're gonna do 2 hours like this, and then you're gonna go out straight away into the field, and you're gonna get a map, and you're just gonna walk. And that's what we do with the Sadnat Nivutim, is we go out with 5 or 6 madrichim, and you guys are split up into groups, like small groups, so you can all learn. And you're all given maps, and you're all given the opportunity to navigate, and you're all given the opportunity, and you guys cook for yourselves, and you sleep out in the field. That's the whole idea. You're doing it with weight, so it's like a whole. It's really learning how to navigate as you would in the army. So this
Does the
is
whole group do it, or is it one person?
the whole group navigates, but each person navigates one at a time. So in the beginning, you guys are navigating with maps, and you're navigating the group to a specific location, and then somebody else takes over. And then towards the end of the day, we give you guys the opportunity to do a land nav by yourself with another partner. So you and another partner go out by yourselves, and you guys are free to get lost and do whatever. And then finally, the next day, or that night, if we feel that you guys have learned a lot, then we can do night navigations with the madrichim.
So I have a question actually. Back to the whole navigation thingy. Is it preferable while you're navigating to stay on the peaks so you can kind of see your surrounding, like see where the other peaks are, etc.?
It depends.
Like
It
see where the
depends.
river is.
It depends what you need to do. It depends where you need to go. So let's say when you're practicing, oftentimes it's a good strategy, but at a certain point you're gonna need to go down. Okay, at a certain point you're gonna need to go down, and sometimes it'll make your route a lot longer if you just stay on the peak. You'll have to go all the way around or something like that. Let's say b'mifsa, so during missions, you don't want to stay at the highest point, right? It's a very dangerous place to be. So you're not going to be doing that during missions, but when you're training and you're trying to figure out exactly how to navigate, yeah, it's usually accepted. דורון, היה לך שאלה? Okay,
הכל טוב, תודה.
great. עוד שאלות? Achla. Thank you everybody for coming out. If you have any more questions, are you uploading the PowerPoint, Jacob?
Yeah, we'll make the PowerPoint available and we'll also make the recording available.
Magnifique. Okay.